Hello you beautiful people and welcome back to Let's Play The Outer Worlds 2, and we will confront someone right now. First of all, we have two things available: medical and guns. Yes, and I am gonna be insane. I got two perks. Let's do that, otherwise I might forget. And that ain't cool, right? Many of your lies are more believable, that's good. Creatures always drop raw meat. Skin and bones to damage against all creatures. You can now temporarily tame hostile creatures, having them, okay. Gun runner. What makes it? Deal increased damage while the magazine one of those weapons is half empty. Also gain a bow. Okay, hello. Take this one. Tinkerer. And the lie. Well, wait. We are gonna go with this one. Okay, cool. Apply. Yes. Cool. And this means, okay, 150. That's nice. Okay, cool. Then we can only go to the bottom, right? To the top. That's what we shall do. That's one thing I really do not like, is the teleportation. But anyways, we gotta live with that, right?
Doubt the Anchoress will walk away from the research lightly. They require some aggressive convincing.
That is something we can do. Hey, as long as there is not standing something about stealing, I don't have a bad conscience. So, Celestial Distress Beacon. Before her death, Anchoress launched a makeshift satellite into orbit using spare parts. She issued the order that knowledge of the stars would aid her contemplations of the universal equation. What it actually did was broadcast an emergency distress signal. The only remaining piece of her satellite is on display for two purposes. First, as a reminder that every anchoroid serves the role voluntarily, and second, as an assurance that help is neither needed nor on its way. Orb of Pondering. Anchoroids use device like this to ponder one of life's many existential questions. What is the cosmos but a series of interconnected orbs? When the enormity of their calculation becomes too much to bear, the simplicity of the universe helps an overworked anchoroid to center their mind and ponder in tranquility. Give that, okay. Bell of orbital redirection. Scientists have theorized that sound waves could steer the trajectory of a planetary orbit. This theory was never tested in earnest, but several prototypes of orbital belts were fashioned at a scale. Further study was abandoned. 1 to 1 billion, right? Further study was abandoned since a working model would exhaust the resource of a planet and prove nothing more than its own irrelevance. Alright. Orb of Greater Pondering. See the Orb of Pondering exhibit just to the left. This orb is larger and therefore more expensive. Please do not touch. Ponder from a safe distance. Okay. I see. Makes total freaking sense, right? I guess. Okay. Next thing here. Meteorological attunement apparatus. Environmental changes can influence one's understanding of the universal equation. Temperature, humidity, and wind speed are all contributing factors. By closely observing weather conditions, an anchoroid can forecast an optimal day for math. Scope of outrospection. While an ordinary telescope is outclassed by deep space observation satellites, there are an inaccessible way for anchoroids to contemplate the vastness of interstellar space and their place therein. and the Augie focus device. Many CS and Anchoroids use focus device to keep their attention trained on challenging equations. The device itself has no direct function and most are cobbled together from spare parts. Their tactical nature calms the mind. Tactical nature? Tactile. Anyways. Okay, what do we have here? Logs. Let's see. Trials and tribulations. Entry from Sia Bouillard. Order Research Station 9939 is better known by its shorthand appellation, Point Obviation. Yet in world ruled by logic and reason, it would be celebrated as the most consequential order facility this side of the archive. Here my department of preemptive casual redirection conducted world-shattering trials in feasibility, volatile, atomical, electrodynamics research harnessing the four fundamental forces of accelerate solving humanity's greatness mathematical problems. I'm so sorry. Instead of the celebration of our efforts, we faced constant tribulations until point operation was shattered long ago. Ignorant colleagues posited my trials were dangerously flawed. The firmament was falling. They claimed the end of the world was nigh. How pedestrian and paradoxical. Had I been always to continue, he would have achieved ascension. Their ignorance has delayed our collective bliss. Cosmos in a battle. Test Chamber Alpha is where the mathematical magic happens, site of the boldest research in the history of feasibility, volatile, atomical, yes, nay, in all fields of scientism. Here we work towards simulating the entry of everything in a chamber no larger than your average habitation module. Our Cosmos in a Bottle trials. Did I say Cosmos in a battle? Anyways, bottle trials were always going to be safe, Anchoroid supervised, with a controlled experiment conducted just one level down in Test Chamber Beta. This was not reckless science, and yet they were shattered. Our aging equipment spread around the Anchoroid hold like it's a museum of absolute apparatuses. Perhaps I'll create informational plaques for them as a punchline for this cruel joke. Okay, a fresh restart. After more than 20 years of inactivity, Test Chamber Alpha is refurbished and ready for the recommencement of our daring experiments. A shortcut to solving the universal equation is within reach. Allow me to reiterate, these are not the alleged dangersome trials of yore. The test chamber has been remodulated into a new anchor hold for Anchoress Brun, who has exemplar oversight for all new trials. How heartening to see a new group breathe academical life into my old research currency is their primary concerns, followed by safety of personnel. Meanwhile, I have taken this opportunity to recalculate the experimental risk, filling in any corners cut in my initial round of research, best to settle your affairs and feed your domesticated animal companions. Now, colleagues, soon enough we shall achieve ascensions. Okay, main menu, that was it. So then, let's
who's this?
do some convincing.
Oh, yes, I remember you. We met earlier at the site of my former seclusion. I've heard much of your exploits since. If I recall correctly, you helped prove Anchoress Chow's argument that violence is sometimes necessary. I admit I have modified my stance toward that more recently. I understand you allowed Seer Wiley to go free, yes? Once was a time I would have made that exact same decision. And as for you, I've been informed that you're Marisol Delgado. I've read your file. An impressive body of work, though often quite mortiferously inclined.
Less so over time. There were too many pesky repercussions, I came to find.
Yes, well, to what do we owe the pleasure? Are you familiar with our goals? Come to join up, perhaps, or should I say re-enlist?
Re-enlist? What are you talking about? Restarting Marisol's department?
Surely you're aware of the myriad errors of our current presiding bishop and previous regime. One of whom shut down the division that operated here, the other squandered it. Our sect aims to end human suffering, sooner than later. We've taken great inspiration from your former department, from their methods and their science. To solve the universal equation in our lifetime requires bold action, clever calculation, and assiduous work.
How did you end up here from the monastery exemplar Southworth was involved? Yes. Why choose such a remote location? Do you have research from Sia Bouillot that was locked? Okay, we start at top.
Yes, we have Grace, that is Exemplar Southworth, to thank for that. Her visits to the anchor hold were quite thought-provoking, as was the research she showed me from Sia Bouillot. Bouillot's thinking was unconventional, ahead of her time. Why, in fact, she's here with us now today, overseeing an experiment that proves her researcher's theories.
Really? Sir Boujold is here, at present, in this facility? The one we're presently standing in?
How unexpected. She's always such a surprise.
Yes, we're so very pleased to have her. If you thought her work before was captivating, wait until you hear the experiment she's overseeing now. The intent is to represent the building blocks of the universe within a test chamber, then extrapolate data revealing the universal equation from the micro-universe that forms.
Sounds like it could change everything, one might say.
Why, you should go see for yourself. As former colleagues, I'm sure you'd like to reacquaint. Go on. I'll call down to let her know you're coming.
Okay, she's just downstairs.
Yes, she's monitoring the experiment. I'll have elevator access unlocked so you can join her. Do please stay in the observation area, though. The work is quite delicate. We'll speak further after you check over Sia Boujot's work and the experiment concludes. Oh, so exciting.
Yeah, totally. Okay, by the way, what was making all the noise? There was like an... At least thought I heard an animal. But anyways, whoever lost the distortion device there.
How much longer do you predict preparations will take?
Almost ready. Perfect timing for my former colleague to peer review my work. Head Intercessor Delgado, what an opportune time for you to appear. At the perfect moment to assist our experiment.
What in the endless void are you?
Shh. Comms off, but others are near. I need your aid before this ridiculous affair careens into disaster. Can I rely on you this time? Or will you already intend on scurrying away again?
Hold on, what are you doing here?
I came to derail this line of inquiry in such a discommodious way that no one would ever consider trying it again. For all the aforementioned reasons of it likely causing, or at least queuing up and leading to, the end of all things. You chose to leave me behind, again. So when they came calling, I thought it an opportunity to sort it all myself. Yet, admittedly, at this moment, I could use your assistance.
This shouldn't be your burden. It's on me.
You don't get to decide that, or adjudicate, or coolly comment in a steely growl. Not falling for that a 10th time. Help, or stay out of my way.
Okay, of course, we help, unconditionally.
The test involves 4 stations. Each represents one of the fundamental building blocks of the universe. Zeranium gas, macro-ivs, nucleons, N-rays. All the usual stuff. That test chamber is where all are meant to mix. To simulate a mini-universe I can apply my theories to, pull data from, and deduce the universal equation in a reduced time frame. We know what happens if that's successful. So I need you to muck with each station's settings, then initiate the experiment.
What exactly does muck with entail?
All you need to do is adjust each station's settings slightly. Things will cascade from there. Remember, subtlety is required.
Yes, if we alter the experiment input data in a less than delicate fashion, Brun will notice, I assure you.
The guards on the 2nd floor won't appreciate visitors, so avoid getting spotted. Here's a maintenance key. Head down the vent.
Okay, consider the experiment mucked with.
It's only the fate of the galaxy riding on it, so perhaps try to be careful.
Yeah, okay. If it's just that. Okay, test chamber controls. Okay, no, not yet, right? Okay, big picture. Feasibly volatile atomical electrodynamics research is a controversial field. Many tenured colleagues have dismissed it as junk scientism, yet they simply lack the cognitive capacity to understand its underlying principles. We focus on the smallest of small things, the fundamental building blocks of the universe, to weed out anomalous variables and extrapolate only the necessary inputs for solving the universal equation. In layperson's terms, we create a big picture from a small one with the hopes of accelerating our academical voyage to extensions, if only others in the order also saw the bigger picture. Calculated risks, big difference. It is a question I have often pondered. If Sia Boyule's feasible volatile atomical electrodynamics research was so promising, why was her facility shuttered more than 2 decades ago? My colleagues at the time posited that her experiments were fundamentally flawed, chaotic, even calamitous. They claimed the study of the fundamental forces would produce inconsistent and garbage data, celestial slush they called it, using layperson's terminology to twist their figured dagger in your life's work. Some feared such tampering with atomical electrodynamics might even cause a catastrophic cascade and potentially overwrite our own universe and all life in it. Impossible. Well, improbable. Let's call it extremely unlikely. But what is scientism if not a calculated risk? Back to work. Scientism marches on. After more than 20 years in mothballs, the Department of Preemptive Casual Redirection is reopening for business here. Boyule's feasibility volatile atomical electrodynamic research is back to track with my exclusive reclusive attention. Trial preparation is in process. Point obviation has that intoxicating new equipment smell, while Boyule's original and apparatus are on display in the Anchoress as a monument to her life's work. We are ready for the boldest experiment of all, to spawn a mini-universe to simulate and solve the universal equation speedily, safely, and most importantly, accurately, or at least within the margin of error. I'm highly confident no catastrophic flaws will be revealed. Okay, cool. And we are not gonna start the experiment of yet, and we use... Did she not? Yes, she did say something about a maintenance shaft. And then we are hopefully not gonna get spotted.
I'm no tenured archivist, but that sounds dangerously unstable. Oh well.
Aggressor at hand.
Okay, this device uses centrifugal force to mix ingredients together. Okay. Novice, imprecise, pulp, what a name, right? This can be used to send an Alta Vita sample from here into the experiment test chamber. A pre-configured sample is on hand and ready to be sent out to the appointed time. Its nucleon levels have already been precisely configured to coax simultaneously into from the primordial soup of the micro-universe. What the hell? Do not under any circumstances combine it with an unconfigured sample or send an unconfigured sample in its place. With your lack of training, both would be obvious, but especially if you simply send an unconfigured sample, yours in science, tenured, yada yada yada. P.S. I am unaccustomed to having the particularized in such degree of Godness, I'm sorry, pedantic detail, but recent misinterpretations on your part have convinced me it is required.
Indelibly eradicate algorithmic dissonance.
Good, they did not trigger anything, right? Okay. It's almost impossible to create the specific electrochemical reaction necessary to stimulate the wide array of elements needed to populate the micro-universe. An exquisitely well-calibrated amalgamatum of metallurgical elements has been placed perfectly inside the macrowave, not micro, in preparation of the experiment. Just leave it alone, please. Okay. Replace the okay.
Anyone else hear that? No? Just me then, I see.
There was nothing, buddy. Oh god, that's gonna be so boring, right? Oh, damn it, that maybe was not that cool. Locking final settings should only be done after flow quantities have each been carefully evaluated. Okay, also I have repeatedly stated it is an inordinately tricky matter to set all components of this test in the correct manner to simulate the functional micro-universe. Even the slightest error could undermine our vitally important efforts here. For the seemingly infinite time, maximum uranium flow is absolutely required for the highest probability of experiment success. If the flow is less than 500 gallons per minute, test results will be entirely skewed.
That is the sound of science going exceptionally well.
Okay, now guys, we are gonna be doing the rest after reading. Idle setting 300, do not alter. Okay, we're gonna do the rest, you guys, in the next episode. For now, you know it. I, as usual, really thank you for watching. If you guys actually do have enjoyed this episode, then please give me a little tinsy thumbs up and subscribe. And hopefully I see you in the next episode. Until then, I wish you all a wonderful day. Stay frosty. Bye.